Hey HBs, you're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap the plot of romance novels while being the most and sometimes latching on to very unexpected details. This week, we are doing a re-release before we do our coverage of Strangelove. To get you in the alien mood, we thought you might enjoy some Interstellar brides. That's right. We've got our fan favorite episode on Mastered by Her Mates by Grace Goodwin for you. I hope you're excited because it is all DP all the time. Here we go. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Melody. Do you see how close I am to the microphone? It's going to be a great episode. I'm pressing my face against my
don't press.
Pop.
Don't press.
What is it called?
Your pop filter.
Know. Yeah, that probably sounded awful. You'll have to redo it.
Oh, good.
Yay!
How the hell are you?
Good. How are you? It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks, and I kind of hated it. But also, I kind of loved it. I don't know.
I kind of loved it, too, because the week that we didn't record was the week that my friend Kate visited, and she's a romance novel person, but very different from me, and I've always known that because I think we had a conversation about it one time where we were like, we both acknowledged that we read romance novels, and I was like, oh, what? You know what? She may have been the one that made me read Outlander, because I was like, oh, what kind of things do you read? And she was like, oh, big ol' sweeping Outlanders and Judith McNaughts. And I was like, cool. Talk to you never about that. Like, I was like, we have nothing to, okay.
Yeah.
And she had mentioned to me once that she'd read maybe every Nora Roberts novel. And I was like, neat.
Wow.
Like, I don't have anything there. I've read maybe 2, 3. I don't know. So.
I think, can I make a confession to everybody here?
You've never read Nora Roberts?
Yeah, I think I've never. I also have a Swiss cheese memory, let's recall. Yeah. So, who knows?
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so I got to spend the weekend with her. She's a very, very exuberant and intense woman, and she wants to do everything. So we would have days where she was just like, you know what I'd like to do is I'd like to be on a train, like a historical train. And I'm like, how do I make this happen for you? And she'd be like, don't stress. It's just that I want to be on the top of a mountain this afternoon. Can we do that? It's like, can you tell, like, she's marvelous? Like, she's just
yes.
Yeah, incredibly
she's
ambitious
amazing.
And like an Energizer bunny. And she's moving from the States to Europe. And then on her way to Europe, she's doing all of these stops around the way to like visit all her friends, to include here in Alaska, which was really nice. Yeah, and then we got to sit down and record a bonus episode where she talked about all the things. It was so funny.
I can't wait to hear it.
She was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to have anything to say, and they won't want to listen to the books that I read about. And I was like, no, they do. You don't understand. That's literally what they want to listen to. And she's like, well, I'm not anybody. And, and then we sat down and she's like, let me talk to you for 2.5 hours straight about this book I loved. It was so funny. She's like, I have nothing to say, like very demure. And then she was like, I have a lot of things that I must say. It was great.
That's amazing. I cannot wait. I actually haven't, because I haven't seen it yet, but I cannot wait to post that for our Patreon.
Yeah.
Matrons. I'm really excited because she just sounds awesome. And you always talk about her as like your incredibly knowledgeable friend regarding romance. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited.
We have to have Leslie on at some point too.
Yeah.
Who's also a connoisseur. She's the one with the big box of romance novels that opened my world.
Yes.
I have some things I have to talk about.
Ooh.
They're housekeeping things.
Okay.
Hey guys, if you are a Patreon person,
send us your addresses.
Yeah, who has pledged at a level that you get something in the mail, like a card or a care package, or what else did we promise? Books. We only have like 2 of your addresses, but there are a lot of you, and we need your addresses before we send you the stuff. And we just got the cards in.
Yeah, I'm excited to write cards. I'm really excited.
So I don't care what medium you send us your address.
Yeah.
You can email it. You can do it through the Patreon. Don't they have like a direct message on the Patreon they can do?
Probably. Yeah,
I don't know,
we also have
means
direct
by
messages.
Yeah, whatever means
every
by which
platform.
you feel most secure. Like, just,
Yes.
Facebook, Insta messages we might not see for a good old year. Like, that's happened.
Insta messages don't even alert us. I don't understand why we don't get... I don't understand.
Yeah, we'll be like, oh, look at this sweet message from, 3 months ago. Whoops.
Yeah. Facebook DMs were really good about. So if you want to message the Heaving Bosoms page, we definitely have that there. I think I'm also going to post in the cult just as a reminder to be like, hey, y'all, send us addresses.
Send
please.
us your addresses. Housekeeping thing number 2, possessions watch. Listen, I don't know if it's because you guys don't have our address or what, but there's a couple hundred people in the cult, and I have yet to see... I have yet to see one possession of yours arrive at my door, and I'm starting to think you guys are taking advantage of us.
I am scant on possessions as well.
Yeah. I'm looking around my house, and it's like, all I see are my own possessions. And David's. And I'm like, listen, guys, we made a contract here.
We did.
All your possessions
nunchucks and vibrators.
For
those are yours.
The privilege of being in this Facebook group. So, yeah, I'm just befuddled by that one.
Yeah, no, totally.
Do you have any other housekeeping matters?
I do.
Wait, I have another one. I haven't updated the website in a while. I'm sorry. It's been 3 weeks. So the last one that's up there is, I think, Autumn Bride Part 2. I'm going to try to do it today, which, if you're listening to this, is 3 weeks in the past. But probably by the time you're listening to this, it'll again be behind. It's just going to be behind a lot because I just got to be in town and sit at my computer, and it's hard.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. Okay. My housekeeping thing is that I actually have a Patreon shout out to do.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So this is going out to our pal, Cat C.
Cat.
Yeah. Cat, you are a beautiful chimera of awesome. Your multidimensional nature makes you a superhero of empathy and a roller with all punches. Plus, you write an excellent email.
She does. I know exactly who Cat C is, and she's great. In fact, I may have been going back and forth with Cat C a little bit this morning, so yeah, she's great. She's on the Facebook page. She's good. Good people.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, now I think it is our great privilege to talk about Mastered by Her Mates.
I can't.
By Grace Goodwin.
Who recommended this to us?
I'm blushing just saying we're going to have to find out. I think it's on...
It's going to be on the thing. Okay, I will do it right now. I'm going to find it.
Okay.
I think I have it up in some capacity on my
I do too.
Computer.
Yeah, I've got it. It is Jennifer S.
Jennifer S.
You are a great big ball of fantabulous. Can I just say that? Jennifer S. You brought this erotic, thrilling world into my life, and I can't stop shouting.
So we read Mastered by Her Mates by Grace Goodwin.
Grace Goodwin.
No, Grace.
Really?
Yeah, you've been saying Gracie, so I made sure.
Oh, balls.
I double checked when I put up the thing, but it's just Grace.
It's just Grace.
Yeah, you said Gracie Goodwin a lot, but
you know what?
Is a Warcraft situation.
I felt so connected to her that I had to give her a nickname.
Was this a good book?
Yep.
Was this a bad book?
Nope. Great.
I have
Hall of fucking fame.
Clue. I don't know what the fuck this thing was. I don't know. I know that I read it with one of those open-mouthed surprised smiles that people use fakely to do selfies. You know, when people do the open mouth selfie where they're like, hey, that is the expression that was always on my face when I read this book. So I think I have to say that it was a great book.
It was a great book.
It made me so happy.
And I know. And can I just say that I definitely went down a one-click rabbit hole and I read the first 4.
No, fuck you. No way. No way. No way.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be a Patreon bonus episode where my voice is just this the whole time, where I can't, like, I'm just on the verge of delicious laughter, but I have to rein it in. They're so good.
But you found this book like super sexy, right?
Yes.
You did a lot of like little fires on Twitter when you were describing it. And I was reading it. I didn't get into it in a sexy way. I couldn't do it.
Fair. No, but I'm just saying that even if you don't get into it in a sexy way,
no, it's outstanding.
There is so many fires. Just you can't. It's so good. Like they're so okay. Let's put it this way, bitches. This thing just comes strong out the gate with a first page 1 double penetration scene.
All right. Okay.
That's what happens.
Here's the thing. We can't even start there. We can't start there.
How dare you?
We have to start with the
Grace
cover.
Goodwin thinks that that's the way we should...
No.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Because this is a problem I've had a little bit over the past, like, for a few. Because The Unleashing did this, and Take the Lead did this, and now these guys do this. The covers do not look like the people who are supposed to be the thing.
Totally.
You look at the cover, you see a beautiful black woman who is correct in the, like, she is, I think, black and Asian?
She's black, Asian, and white.
Yes, okay. So she looks great. She, strong, good.
Perfect.
Good cover
She's
model.
Also got a tiny little bit of meat on her bones, which also the character does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two guys
are just, like, the blandest white dudes that have ever happened. One of them has a receding hairline. Yeah,
I'm just like
they're not 8 feet tall. They're not yellow.
Yeah, they're not yellowy orange. They don't have. They're not the aliens described in the book. And I'm just like, who are these bros that she's cheating on her alien husbands with?
Yeah. All right.
And the same thing happened in The Unleashing. He was supposed to have a big beard and long hair. And they talked about making him over, but then they didn't. And the guy on the cover of that did not have a beard or long hair. Same thing with Take the Lead. That guy was a clean-shaven dude, and he was supposed to have a big old bushy beard.
That guy was Channing Tatum.
Yeah, but with a big old bushy beard.
And a man bun.
He should have had. Yeah, and a man bun.
And he was blonde.
Listen, I get it. Covers are hard to do. If I ever
especially
wrote a
when you're
romance
writing
novel,
in this universe.
Yeah, if I ever wrote a romance novel and I was like, click, I am done with the romance novel. Send out to the world. I would have no fucking clue how to do a cover. So, I get it. I understand. But
totally.
They should have been aliens. At least you make them yellow.
Yeah, you can Photoshop that shit.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, however, is that I appreciated that unlike After the Wedding, for example, we got a good picture of what the dynamic is.
Yes, because later in the thing... So, okay, we got to skip forward a little bit because I have to say this now.
Well, okay.
Later in the book, so she's going to be married to 2 aliens. We later learn that one is going to be, I mean, it kind of doesn't work out this way, but it's supposed to be that one alien is the vagina alien and the other alien is the butt alien. And when we found that out, I went, like that. And David was next to me. He was like, what's going on in your alien sex book? And I was like, you're not going to believe this, dude. One alien is the vagine alien and the other alien is there for butt stuff. And he's like, what? And then I showed him the cover and he's like, well, I can definitely tell which alien is there for the butt stuff.
It's true.
One's like making out with her and the other one's just like, looking at her butt.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then wait, one more thing. On the cover, it says book 0, which I appreciate was starting with a 0, starting with the book 0.
No. She had other novels, and then this came out in 2017. Yeah, it's a prequel.
Oh, okay, sorry. So book 0 of the Interstellar Brides, TM. That is a fair trademark. This is a unique fucking thing. The Interstellar Brides program is just Grace Goodwin. Congratulations,
that's right, Grace. You did it.
No one's gonna step on that one. That is a trademark.
She marked that shit. Just like they mark the heroine with their seed.
And their weird seed and their collars. Okay. So now we're in chapter 1.
There is so much that I love about this book.
Right.
I can't even. Oh my god.
All right. The first line is Amanda Bryant, Interstellar Bride Processing Center, Earth. And I was like, oh, okay. That's what this is gonna be. Oof.
What is that? I don't understand. I had no reaction to that at all.
You don't? The Interstellar Bride Processing Center? There's so many things in there.
Yeah, you gotta get them in there somehow.
I guess I just...
How do you think the Interstellar Brides program works? You think they just do it all willy-nilly?
Here's the thing. I saw the cover.
That's not safe.
I thought, this is about a woman who falls in love with a couple of aliens. I didn't realize was going... Yes, that is accurate. I didn't realize she was a mail-order interstellar bride. Like, that is a different level. Like, maybe you meet an alien by happenstance on Earth, you know? Like, that's how these usually happen in the movies. Earth Girls Are Easy. Have you not seen Earth Girls Are Easy?
No, but is it a porn?
Oh my God, Melody. Podcast over. Rush out. Okay. It is, imagine, it is 1988. All right?
Tell me everything.
When all the best things happened.
Hold on. This is when the movie came out, or this is when it is set?
This is the time of this is both things.
Oh, good.
I don't think it's like in the future or anything. No, I think it's 1988 in the movie.
Fine.
You've got...
I was 1 year old.
Yeah. You've got a late 80s Gina Davis. One of your favorite Gina Davises. Like,
oh, yeah.
She and her friend, who I don't remember who the actress is, somehow happen upon two aliens who are big. One's orange and one's blue. And they're big and hairy aliens. And they like them more than their boyfriends. And then they shave them.
They shave the aliens?
Yeah, they're big hairy guys.
Okay.
I hope I'm getting this right. But they shave off their alien hair, and guess who they are? A super sexy Jeff Goldblum.
Oh!
Peak Jeff Goldblum is Earth Girls Are Easy. A lot of people say The Fly, but that is inaccurate. And another guy who I don't remember. But they're super sexy, and they're there to fuck. And that is the...
DTF.
That is the plot of that movie. Like, I don't really remember anything else. I just remember, like, it's about, like, hijinks. It's like an 80s sex comedy.
Amazing. Okay.
But it's a lot like this.
We'll watch
situation.
That ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Right. So we're in the Interstellar Bride Processing Center. And Amanda Bryant, it's from her perspective. What was the line you wanted to read, Erin? Tell me all about it.
I don't even know. I've highlighted the first paragraph. Oh, God. I don't even know if I can read these things out loud. I'm so blushing.
Here, I'll do it. Hold on. I'm so good at this. Okay. All right. This is the first paragraph. This couldn't be real, but it felt real. The warm air on my sweaty skin, the redolent scent of fucking.
God.
The soft sheets beneath my knees, the hard body at my back. I was blindfolded, the silk making everything as black as night. But I didn't need sight to know a cock was buried deep in my pussy. A big, thick cock.
Paragraph 1.
And yes, it's so good. Okay, so let me just tell him what's going on.
But
so
okay,
what's up? What's up?
There was a logistics with Erin problem here.
Oh, because tell me everything.
Bing boom bong. Sex positions with Erin, because I could not figure out what the fuck was going on. Because she said she was kneeling, but there was somebody at her back, and the person at her back is in her vagine, and then there's somebody in front of her that's doing mouth stuff on her. Yeah, but then
they pick her up and they put her on top of the dude that is the vagina alien. As in like cowgirl. And then the other bloke comes up. Comes up right behind and enters her from there. So it's like he's also doing the cow person situation.
Okay, so he's like sitting on Alien 1's chest, basically. Okay,
no, not the chest. Well, are you insane? No, they turn her around.
Yeah. So
that like, Alien 1 gets a view of her tatas, not Alien 2's butt.
When you said cowgirl, I thought reverse cowgirl. Got it.
Yeah.
I understood.
Yeah. No, cowgirl.
I missed the part in this typhoon, whirlwind, tornado of craziness. I missed where they picked her up and put her on Alien 1.
It's an easy mistake
like, how is this all happening?
I've read this thing 3 times. Don't worry. Okay, so here's what's going on.
Okay.
We get this really, really intense, hot, sexy double penetration scene. And the whole time she's doing that thing where she's like, it was real, right? No, it couldn't be real because I haven't had sex with anybody in like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I've been so busy with my job, like, no, but it feels so real. And like, I how do I know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I can't wait for the other alien to get up in my butt. And then, and then she was like, but wait, that seems like something that should scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
How do I know he will fit? I just know. And then, it works.
Yeah, it's
And
fine.
then-
It's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
In fact.
Good things happen. And she comes hard twice. Yeah.
But they're like, can I claim you, mate?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
we there forever? It says, do you accept my claim, mate? Do you give yourself to me and my second freely,
Oh, yeah.
or do you wish to choose another primary male?
And then she says, I accept your claim, warriors.
My vow spoken. My mates growled. Like, then she says, then we claim you. In the right of naming, you belong to us, and we shall kill any other warrior who dares touch you. May the gods witness and protect you. Then it says, the chorus of voices. Melody is not looking at a book, by the way. She's just chiming in with the verbatim paragraph. A chorus of voices sounded around us, and I gasped as the man on his knees before me nipped at my inner thighs with his teeth in a dark promise of more pleasure. Come for us now, mate. Show them how your mates bring you pleasure. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's a motherfucking audience? Like, I don't understand. There's an audience to this. This is like 3 pages into this crazy double penetration scene. And I'm just like, what is happening? Anyway, back to what you were talking about.
Happy. I'm crying. Okay. Right. So then,
Sorry. The need wasn't just to fuck both my mates at once. It was to stake my claim and make these men mine forever. And only their double penetration would do it. I wrote, what?
Oh, Aaron, get ready for our Patreon bonus episode where I tell you about the different things that happen in books 1 through 3. Because different species of alien have other yet similar needs for simultaneous penetration.
What a great sentence you just said.
Okay, so she comes really, really hard twice. And then all of a sudden somebody's like, Miss Bryant. And she's like, get the fuck out of my what's happening. No, I want to stay with these aliens. And then she wakes up. Guys, it was a dream. It was a simulation. But it felt so real. So this lady is like, how'd it go? How do you feel?
Because this is her professional work job.
Yes. And frankly, you find out throughout the rest of these books that she takes her work job incredibly seriously. And she is a firm believer that all righteous warriors of the alien coalition deserve love. And so she's going to make it happen.
And just so you know, in this world of the Interstellar Brides TM, love equals double penetration all the time.
No,
Every
that's
day.
not true. That is not true.
All the
Take
time.
it back.
No.
No, we have at least one scene in this book where it's just one of the dudes because the other one's working. He's on shift. And no, in the first time that they have sex with her together, they both just take turns.
That's true. You're right.
her
I'm so
front
sorry.
pocket.
I'm so sorry. But what do they put in her butt during that scene? Something.
Well, they have to train her for the ceremony. An anus does not expand by itself, Aaron.
Oh, I can't wait. About halfway through this book, I was like, we're going to get an anal talk with Melody somewhere in here. And about how much she loved, how much they prepared her butt.
I did. Although, actually, this was one of the only ones, because, I read 4. This was one of the only ones where I was actually a little bit concerned, but we'll get to that. Okay. we gotta get in this. So here's what's going on.
Wake up, Ms. Bryant.
Yes. And they do the whole processing thing, and we learn that Amanda Bryant is a seasoned 5-year spy for the USA. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, I'll get into that too, because I had some "you're a terrible spy" with Melody. We're gonna have a whole segment of what the fuck kind of spy is this?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay. So she's a spy for the U.S. government.
You know what I liked here? It was very nondescript. I don't know what agency she works for. I don't know.
The CIA. She says the company.
Yeah, but she's not
she definitely says
super
CIA.
specific. I didn't read that. Never mind.
All right.
Now I don't like it as much. I was hoping she was so vague that you couldn't pick it apart. That was my, I really liked that it was vague. All right, never mind.
All right. So we find out that she is a spy and that this is actually an assignment. So 3 months ago, sometime in the very, very near past, aliens descended upon Earth and they were like, we're huge and we just want to battle in our solar system. By the way, we're like 7 feet tall and yellow and golden and fucking hot. And we've been fighting this hive for 1,000 years and we're here to protect your planet. But we don't care what you do on your planet. Just be your planet still. But what we want in return is 1,000 soldiers a year and 1,000 interstellar brides a year. So buckle up, humans, because we have to battle this hiveness together. And the U.S. government, actually all the governments, are very dubious about this whole thing. So they have decided that they are going to send the very first bride into space because their soldiers can't be processed for a couple of days. That's what they actually say. They're not going to
have an intelligence gap of 2 days.
2
Sending
days.
their finest CIA operative who works at the Pentagon, shrug. That's why I like that they were vague. I'm like, yeah, sure, Pentagon. You could be intelligence of any service. Fine.
I'm pretty sure she says the company, which is always the CIA.
I know, but maybe, I don't know.
But
I
maybe
just thought
not.
she wasn't.
I could be wrong about that.
It was kind of vague. But then she talks about how when the aliens landed, the president called in the National Guard, and I'm like, that's not how that works.
No. Anyway.
There was a lot.
So, okay, now they do the whole processing thing, and the lady is like,
success.
How, what did you see? And she was like, well, I saw 2 of them. And she's like, good, 2, good.
Two mates for you.
Excellent.
Yes.
And then, but they never really, and this is a hallmark of the whole series. Warden Egara, the woman who's talking right now, the processing person, is never do they never give the brides the full rundown? So a good, I don't know, quarter of their story is them being like, what? 2? What?
Yeah.
Or in the case of book 3, what? 3? What?
Uh-huh.
Get ready. Okay. Then she's like, okay, can I say goodbye to my family? And Warden Nagara's like, yeah, absolutely.
Wait.
I'll send your dad right in.
No, wait. I need to... So she's in this chair.
Oh, yeah, she's strapped down.
Completely fucking naked.
No, she has a gown on.
Listen, I'll give you that she mentioned
It's
the company
the
one
top.
time, which I searched. But I will not give you this because it says, I just had an orgasm right here in this damn chair, pinned and naked like a freak. I was a 5-year intelligence operative. Blah, 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 blah.
And then,
so it says she's naked.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to find it.
I've been assigned to this mission because my country was trusting me to maintain control, to do what was needed to be done in space, not fall apart and beg for orgasms from the first alien whose hard cock made me so hot I forgot my own name.
Yeah!
You can read
so
any
good.
paragraph from this book, and it's hilarious. Okay.
It is gold. Okay, wait, no. My pussy was dripping wet, and the gown scrunched up beneath me was soaked.
But how is she?
Gown,
She says
bitches.
naked
Gown,
too.
gown,
She
gown.
also
Yeah,
says
because
she's
she's naked. It's like a doctor's office. It's like your gyno. You feel naked even though there's like a paper gown on you.
Okay, all right. So then she
Bitch.
says, I want to talk to my dad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they send in the other 2 CIA operatives.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm taking over.
Sorry.
Because I am a lay person and I had a visceral reaction to this.
Okay.
She's like, okay, I'll send in your dad. And then 2 dudes with buzz cuts and like $40 suits and black ties walk in and are like, hello, Agent Amanda Bryant.
Daughter.
No, not even that.
No.
They're like, I hope that you know. Meanwhile, she has been debriefed and prepped for this mission for the past 3 months. She's been doing this. She's been getting ready for this. Bitch knows what her marching orders are. But instead, he walks into the basically enemy facility without any idea about whether or not they're taping him right now or what the security protocols are.
No,
and he's
not
like,
even.
I hope that you know, Agent Amanda Bryant, that your job is to infiltrate this alien's battleship and send back information on the ship, on the protocols, and as much alien technology as you possibly can. And she's like, in her inner monologue, she's like, yeah, that's what we've been talking about for the past 3 months.
I've got it. Like,
dude.
Matt, it's going to be fine.
And then when Warden Nagara walks in, the book says, when the 2 suits were gone, she turned to me, the tablet in her lap, and her smile genuine. You okay? And my note was, not obvious at all. They couldn't put on some cargo pants and a polo?
Yeah, the note I wrote here was bad spies with Aaron. Not quite as bad as Fiona yet.
Oh,
but
boy.
Pretty bad
oh
spies.
Boy, them's fighting words.
Come at me, sharks. Chomp me.
They have such big teeth.
Those sharks, they have big teeth. That's fine. Do it.
Okay.
Sing your Lord songs. Come at me.
There's more. I have another bad spy with Melody moment coming up during her examination. Okay.
Well, is it? No, I was engaged once, but that had ended the night I told my fiance I was a spy. I wasn't supposed to tell him I was a spy, so bad on me? Was it those 2 sentences?
Well, it actually...
bad on me?
Yeah.
I just wrote it down. I'm like, bitch, you don't even have to be a spy to know that. You just have to watch Alias. Like, that's like the first episode of Alias.
Impossible?
Hey, fiance, I'm a spy. And then he's dead in the fucking bathtub. That's what happens when you tell your fiance you're a spy.
The company don't fucks with that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. All of a sudden... they start processing her, and they throw in at the end of it, they're like, P.S. your body's going to be prepared for the
so good
for the customs and expectations of your mates. And she's like, what? Prepared? What? And like the door closes and she goes into blackness. She's also implanted with a neuroprocessing chip that allows her to know all languages.
It's a babblefish,
which I want.
From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, only it's done with a needle. And then they lower her into blue goo. And I'm like, how are you breathing? Is it okay? But that's the end of that chapter. So it's a big cliffhanger as to whether she's drowned in blue goo or not.
Wait, can I just say that this... So first of all, here's my one problem with this whole thing is like, if your body is going to be quote unquote prepared for all of this, in this case, it means that she gets totally shaved. In other books that I have read, it means that they got nipple piercings and one where she got a clit piercing on the way to the planet.
Ooh.
But my question is, why don't they prepare her butthole then? You know?
Then she wakes up and she's like, butthole is ready.
Yeah.
Okay, also, she's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to be able to communicate with Earth, right? Or whatever. And the lady's like, no, Ms. Bryant, you are now a warrior bride of Prillian Prime.
Prillon Prime.
Subject to the planet's laws, customs, and protections.
You're never coming back to Earth.
And then she's like, after 30 days, if you don't like your mates, you may pick another mate on Prillon Prime. And I was like, but how long is a day? Because, like, remember in Interstellar when they went to that planet and, like, 7 minutes was, like, 20 years on Earth and they wasted that time trying to get away from that big wave? Like, that could be, like, a really long time.
I know, but I will say that since she's never going to leave and she's never going to come back, it actually doesn't matter because time is relative.
She doesn't fucking know that. She doesn't know. There's so much she's fucking ignorant about, and I'm just like, how bad of a spy are you? Like, they didn't have any intel about this Interstellar Brides program. It seems like all they had to do was ask this lady.
Totally. Actually, that does become an issue in, I think, book 2, because one of the ladies enters the Interstellar Bride program as a form of witness protection, and she has to come back and testify. And time works differently, guys. Mm-hmm. It's rough.
So, also, with the needles coming at her, and they're gonna inject her with a needle, she's like, oh, I don't. I'm scared. I do not do needles. And I'm like, Pentagon?
That's my... No, that's
CIA?
My issue. We're coming up to it. So,
Marine, I don't know what you are, but you should do needles.
Yeah, right. You guys get shots for everything.
All the fucking time.
Right. So, chapter 2, we meet our heroes. We meet Grig, the commander of the Prelin Prime.
Sorry, if you hear it's me beating on my chest because I love it so much. So
It's so good.
when we open to his chapter, he's just like, "Sup, guys, I'm Grig." Because we're in his perspective. This bounces between the perspectives, first person of all three people, 2 aliens and 1 person. And it's just like, I'm Grig, I'm about to shoot these motherfuckers out of the sky. And I'm like,
yeah, because as a commander, he's like breaking all protocols and he's like in a battle wing. He's going pew, pew, pew in real life and not sitting on the deck where he fucking should be.
But there's like 0 language barriers. He's just like a bro.
No,
he's like,
we get the neurotransmitter too with Amanda.
No, okay, we'll talk about this a little bit down the line.
I did have one issue because this is a hallmark of Grace Goodwin's writing. Instead of using like a semicolon to do 2 thoughts, she'll be like, I missed him so much, comma, for he was my soulmate.
Yeah, it's a lot
Instead
of
either making them 2 sentences or whatever. And I had an issue with that because there's no fucking way that Amanda would always say, comma, for blah, blah, blah. And that the aliens would also do that.
Yeah,
that's just the way she writes. That's been in every book I've read. It's just a thing.
But I think that their voices are all the same, which is difficult because 2 of them are space aliens and 1 of them is Amanda. So
I didn't care.
The other thing is, this is a real, like, if you're gonna quibble about something, this is low for this book. So also, the other thing is, like, they will sometimes in this book have weird little language gaps, even though she's got the babblefish in her brain.
Yeah.
Where she's like, you guys are so hot. And they are like, beep, boop, bop. Actually, we are standard temperature. And I'm like, okay, you guys are having trouble with the word hot to mean sexy, but you're not having trouble with the word motherfucker. We're throwing around motherfucker, and that's fine in both languages. That's something that is space-wide. You know, like, it's very weird how often they're throwing around other slang, but then, like, every once in a while they'll get caught on a word, which is...
Yeah, later on she's like, is that a sex toy? And he's like, ooh, I've never heard of it like that, but I like it because I want to play with it.
I mean, that was kind of cute, that one.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
But like, So, okay. So we open up. Grig is on a ship. Grig is fucking up some Hive bros. And then he's talking to Rav. Yeah. Pew pew. And then he's talking to Rav.
Conrav. His first cousin.
His first. No, it's a thing.
It's his first cousin.
Well, so that's that. So that is standard.
Don't make it better, Melody. It's his first cousin.
It's a standard thing in alien cultures that we encounter in the Grace Goodwin series, at least so far.
Well, you don't know this yet because you've only read this book. You just know that Grig and Conrav are real.
Yeah, I went like my whole. I was like, ooh.
Screech.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. They make it very clear later on that A, they're not interested in incest, and B, they're very like, I love you, but no homo. Yeah. So we'll get to that too.
There's a very sweet scene where they talk about how they don't want to fuck each other.
They don't want to fuck each other.
They don't want to.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, it is really sweet. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But, all right. So he's fucking up some aliens. He's talking to the captain who is under him, and he's talking to Conrav, his cousin and his second, and the doctor of the ship. And their banter back and forth is so bro adorable. It's great. But then Grig gets shot out of the sky, and then he's rolling around in the space times with a hole in his suit, and the pressure's going down, and it's crazy. And then somebody...
The Hive's gonna get him. The Hive is the bad guys. And he's like, kill me before the Hive gets me.
Yeah. Shoot me the fuck down.
Yeah.
I will not become one of them. Because that's a hallmark of their race. They take over other organic beings.
The Hive is like zombies.
Yeah, they turn your dudes into fighters against you, and it is bad times. So they rescue him, and they bring him back, and then they're doing the medical things on him, and then they put him into this giant regen pod.
All right, here's a time that I need to talk about.
Yeah.
Conrav, his first cousin, I'm sorry, I gotta say it every time, is a doctor. And a doctor in this space time is that you have a wand that you wave over somebody that repairs them. And so you're standing there when he's brought into your medical wing, and then you're like, get him to the pod. And then they put him in a pod that then...
And then your job is
everything.
done. Yeah.
So you just have to stand there and be like, to the pod. But you don't even move him to the pod. That is a doctor. That is what doctors do.
Actually, that is addressed in book, I think, 2. Because the woman is a doctor.
Uh-huh. Like, he just pushes the button on the pod. That's all he does.
Yeah. Okay, so as Grig is getting repaired, the captain and the doctor are like, this fucking guy takes way too many risks and we don't understand. And he's just like trying to put a band-aid on his rage by being out on the front lines. And we cannot have that because if he dies, then his asshole father is going to take over command of the ship and it's all going to be bad news bears. And then Conrav is like, hey, captain, you are technically in charge right now. So I need you to order Grig a mate because then he can fuck it out and he won't need to release all of his tension in a battle wing.
Yeah. We could stop doing the battles, putting him in danger.
Yeah. And also, I am so always hard because I'm his second and the guy will not order me a mate. So I would like a mate too.
Because I just want to do sex with my cousin.
No, they don't. No homo, Aaron.
Wait. For my balls to touch the balls of my first cousin.
You know what?
In sex.
I can't wait to have a mate between us, is what he's saying. So they do it, and they order him a mate. Now, the way that the Interstellar bride processing plant works is that they take all of your subconscious, deepest desires and wants and needs and everything, and then they match you to another being. And then they, just close this distance between you, and they're like, we think this is going to work because you're a 99% match. That is what Grig and Amanda are. So everybody buckle the fuck up.
Listen.
Because 10 days later, bitch arrives.
99%
it's a total surprise.
Match doesn't mean shit. I have been 99% matched with several people on Match.com.
Not by aliens.
I don't know that.
Not by aliens,
I don't know that.
They didn't get into your brain parts now, did they?
I was a 99% match with my coworker, Matt. We came to work the next day and we're like, we matched last night, 99%. And then we're like, all right, see you later. It was just like the hating game, only nothing ever happened because no one wanted it to.
Listen, Match.com is so low on the totem pole. It is not even sniffed at by the alien coalition's bride processing
How
plant.
dare you?
Do not give you.
They may well use eHarmony to match these people.
How dare you, madam?
No.
This thing is magic. It is science magic, Aaron.
eHarmony once told me that I had no matches. None. And I found out it was because I put that I wasn't a Christian on the thing. But I didn't know that. Like, at the time, I guess eHarmony was only matching, they would only match you if you were a Christian.
Religious.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I was just like, I've got none.
Zeros?
I answered these 32 questions. And I don't think I answered any of them crazily. Like, I didn't answer any of them like only ear stuff or something that like might put me on an island. Like, they were pretty standard. And they were just like, no, you'll never find love, Aaron. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll take my $29.99 and go. Sorry, eHarmony.
All right.
Sorry.
All of a sudden, Grig is masturbating yet again because for the past 10 days, he cannot get this ethereal woman out of his mind. And there's they call him to the med bay because his mate is here. And
She's
he's
arrived.
Like, what? I didn't get myself a mate. And then they go. And then as soon as he sees her, everything, just the power of his matedom washes over him. And he's like, I need to protect her and I gotta fuck her and she's so beautiful. I just need to mark her and we need to bond immediately and the whole thing. So, and meanwhile, Rav is just like jumping foot to foot, being like, ooh, she's here. She's not mine, but she's here.
She's kind of mine.
No, she is. I mean, but here's the thing. Rav had the opportunity to order himself his own match, and I still don't understand how that's not a better situation for him.
Because he wants to fuck Grig. He's kind of in love with Grig. That's
well, they are. They love each other.
It's like, I could go get my own mate, but I really want to be Grig's second. because I want our balls to touch sometimes by accident. Like, that is what is happening.
I know. The one thing that
He's
bothered me about this...
I want to be there doing sex with my first alien cousin. That is what was going on.
The one thing that does bother me about this is the amount of no homo in this, because I really wanted them to be like...
Yeah, I wanted it to be like kind of homo, but I also didn't want them to be first cousins.
Yes, I know. It's a whole jumble of mixed emotions.
Not necessary.
Because that's how Prillin Prime works. It has to be of the same line or something like that.
But Grace wasn't given like a, hey, this is the historical history of actual Prillin Prime and you've got to work with it. She thought of the first cousin thing. Why?
I know. In book, whatever I'm talking about.
I love it.
I
love it.
I know. I loved it so much, but I was also like, ew. Wait. Erin, can I just say that if you, I think it's called Mated to the Vikings or something like that. It's book 3 or 4.
Of this?
Yeah. She's matched with triplets.
Do they all do her at once?
In order to bond, in order to have the sacred final bond,
know, quote,
it has to be...
Only the double penetration will do it. Triple. I got it.
Triple penetration.
I know, but in this book, it literally says...
Yeah. And it's so tough because they all have to come simultaneously for the seed power to work at the same time. So in like the climactic scene, they're like, I'm almost ready. And then the other guy's like, I can get there. And then the third guy's like, let's do this.
It's like a physics problem. That's so hard.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
May I read a passage from this while they're just looking at her on the table?
Yes, please.
Quote, we're in Grig's first person POV.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Rav. No one sees her like this, ever. I growled at the last, an instinctive need to protect her rising with a speed and ferocity I would never have believed possible.
I love this part.
My reaction was illogical, as our official mating ceremony would be witnessed and blessed by my chosen warriors, those Rav and I chose to honor with my trust during that sacred rite. They would be watching us fuck her, claim her, make her ours, and not simply admiring her beautiful body.
Yeah, there's a difference, Erin.
So I wrote, weird, bro. I'm not behind you on this.
I know. So we gotta speed this up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So
next
this
is my
thing is
favorite
actually
scene. This is my favorite scene.
Oh, I can't wait to find out why. Okay. So
it's bonkers.
Because it's Banana Town bonkers. It's so good. Okay. So she wakes up and she's like, I'm Naked-Z's. You are attractive, but I don't like that I find you attractive. Right. Really? Because I just met you.
We should say these aliens look exactly like men, just bigger and with bigger penises, and they're orange.
They're golden, orange, yellow.
Yeah. But otherwise just like men.
Yeah. Well, they're like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, so big yellow men. And with huge penises. And as we'll learn, magic pre-cum.
Magic pre-cum and magic cum.
Yeah, it's all magic in there. Yeah.
They do 2 different things, though. It's amazing. All right. So, oh God, and the pre-cum comes into play in a few minutes. So they're like, hello, mate. We have been put together to do this thing. And it's so exciting. I am your mate. And then Rav's like, oh, but I'm the second one. I'm your second,
also
though.
Mate. I'm a fake doctor, and I'm his first cousin, and I'm ready to fuck.
Yes. And she's like, what? I could not possibly. And then, but inside, she's like, I wants to so badly.
Yep, I remember that dream.
So, yeah. So they're like, all right, mate, you need to lie back and we're going to examine you. And she's like, I had a lot of tests on Earth. So like, I don't know what the fuck you want to do. And they're like, no, you were beamed through space and then reassembled. We got to make sure you can come. And she's like,
that's
I'm
all they
so
care about.
Confused.
They're just like, we don't care if your heart's working or your brain's working or like any of your nervous system or whatever.
Does your clit work?
Can you come? We need to make sure. So they put wait,
there's also they also put these little mechanisms into her to where she doesn't ever have to pee or poop again.
They shove something up in her butt or whatever that eats all her poops for her.
Well, no, it magically takes it and gives it to the ship so that the ship can reprocess it.
It's a teleportation poop device that they put up in her butt and into her bladder.
And actually, one thing I really liked about that is just that, you know, one of the hardest things about regular anal sex is that you got to keep clean back there. You know what I mean? And so she never has to deal with that. That's so nice.
Yeah, I would almost rather just do the normal keeping it clean back there than have to deal with a tiny robot in my anus that's collecting
you don't know about the robot
and teleporting it.
The robot is so quiet and small.
What I think about is like, you know, when they say a dishwasher is real quiet, but the house will be quiet, then all of a sudden you'll hear like... That's why I imagine she'll just be like sitting having a quiet conversation with her generals as Lady Zakar, which is their last name that she takes.
Yeah.
And then just all of a sudden you'll just hear like a little and she'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's just my poop robot. You guys have them too." Like that's just it's just eating my poops in my anus.
So we gotta get back to
What do you mean we've got to get back to the story? This is the story, Melody. This is not a tangent. This is a plot point. There's a robot in her butt that eats her poop.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So he puts a vaginal probe right up in there, and then he puts a little anal probe right up in there, and then he affixes this little suction vibrating cup right to her clit. And he's like, he looks at Greg, Rav, the doctor, the fake doctor, looks at Greg and he's like, she's 60% of the way there. And Greg is like, what does that mean? And he's like, I haven't even started the testing and she's 60% of the way to full climax. Yeah. And they're both like, we and are lucky
watch
warriors.
It go up. They're like 70% to orgasm, 80% to orgasm. That was my favorite scene. But she's so like writhing on the table and they're like it's very like scientifically being like, yes. Very wet. Like
so then all of a sudden she's like 85, 90% she's 85% of the way.
She's so scientifically, empirically close to orgasm.
That is correct. And Greg looks over and he's like, turn it off.
Shut it down.
And then she's like, what? Why would you do that? What? And then Rav is like really, really confused as well. And then in the most demanding voice, he says, turn it off, Rav. That's an order or something like that. And then he does turn it off. And then Rav looks over and he goes, 90%. Because just the way that he said that got her a little bit closer.
Uh-huh.
And then they can sense that she's a little bit scared. And so this guy leans over really because the whole time he's been like, look at me. And she won't do it because she's humiliated. So then he leans over and he pulls her hair and he pulls her face over and he's like, your pleasure is mine. You will not come for a machine. You will not touch yourself. You will not do anything like that. Your pleasure is mine.
It was a little hot.
And I mean, yeah. And then but it's also like terrifying. So then he steps back. This man she just met steps back, undoes his pants, strokes his cock like 3 times, starts gooping up that magical pre-cum. He starts just lapping it up with his fingers. And then he puts that magical pre-cum right onto her clit. And all of a sudden, this burst of heat goes into her body and he starts rubbing it out. And I don't remember exactly. I think he says something, doesn't he? I don't care. He just starts playing the dirty DJ like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And so she does come finally, right? Oh, he's like, Rav, the sensors are still attached. Your protocols will be met, right? And Rav gives him a knowing smile and is like, of course it will, mate. So then she comes. It's a whole thing. They take all the probes out of her because let's recall this whole time she's had a vaginal probe and an anal probe. And then he's been dirty DJ in her clit. And he scoops her up into his lap and he holds her as she comes down from her magic pre-cum orgasm. And everyone is very pleased.
This was the best scene. There were so many just like nuggets of gold.
So many things.
when Rav is going to put the poop bod in her, he says, "Have you ever had anything inside of you here, mate?" And she says, "No." He says, "My cock jumped at the news. This virgin ass was mine." And I was like, okay, fine. Then he goes, "As the primary mate, Grig has exclusive rights to her pussy until she became pregnant with our first child. After that, I would be free to claim her as well. To fuck her and hope my seed would take root." You guys, nothing compares to just reading this thing out loud. Okay. Until then, as her second mate, her ass, her mouth, and the rest of her was mine. And when we claimed her in the mating ceremony, Grig, like, this is the weirdest exposition I've ever read.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Grig would take her pussy. And, oh God, I can't even read it out loud. It's so dirty.
Do
and
it,
awful.
Aaron.
Okay.
It's so dirty and amazing.
Greg would take her pussy and I would be balls deep in this tight pink ass. I can't. Like,
it's so good.
That's when I just started laughing.
Frankly, Aaron,
couldn't stop laughing.
can.
And David's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "David, there is a vagina alien and an ass alien. I can't."
But one of the things, it's a spin-off. She does a thing in their first sex scene that is actually really fucking cool, because that's traditionally how it's done. Is that the primary mate,
you know for a fact, is the one cousin.
Yeah.
One cousin does you this way, and the other cousin takes you that way.
But the tradition is that you know for a fact that the primary mate definitely has one child that they fathered. And then from there, it's sort of like a game of roulette. You don't know who is the father.
All right.
So, all right.
Then they put the collars on.
Yeah. So they put the collars on each other. Now, I was like, mating collar? Like my hackles went up,
I
right?
imagine
and I was
your
like,
hackles
collar,
just going up and then
we?
getting relaxed this whole time. Like,
yeah.
You come only for me, hackles. And you're like, well, okay.
Yeah,
mating
right,
collar,
maybe.
hackles? Well, okay.
Because, all right, so the mating collars serve two functions, we learn. One is that if she were just to walk around unclaimed, like warriors would basically be tackling her and each other. They would be dogpiling on her to try to be her mate. And
specifically Atlan warriors who are beasts, so they go into heat, and then if they can't find a mate that can tame them, they turn into berserker giants who murder everyone. Is there a book about one of those? Because I love an incubus, that's what that is. So, bad boy werewolves, I also enjoy an incubus.
Not only is it that, but it's like kind of a cool dynamic, because the lady she wants to go find her brothers as a soldier, but she like accidentally gets put in the Interstellar Bride program too, because they're like, lady soldiers, what? And so she has been mated to him, and then she gets put into the soldier program. So now he knows he has a mate, but she just won't come to him. And so he goes and finds her.
Yeah, he has to, or he turns into a crazy...
berserker. He's going to kill all his friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so she finally at the end, because she's like, what if I don't want to put on the collar? And they're like, we will fight death matches and kill all of our soldiers in order to be your mate. And she's like, well, bloodshed doesn't sound real nice. And what they don't tell her is that it's one of those things, once again, where like she never has all the information. And so she's supposed to be a spy, right? And she keeps on reminding us of this. My primary mission here is to be a spy.
This is my work job. I need to remain professional.
That's right. So she decides to put on the collar, and all of a sudden she's drowned in these emotions that are like lust and protection and need and desperation and blah, 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 blah. And Rav is like, Grig, you got to rein yourself in. You're drowning both of us. And he's like, I can't until I've claimed her.
Horny. I can't.
Because the collars also transmit all of their emotions. Every single one of their emotions gets transmitted between the three mates, including the dudes. In one of the other books she wrote, they say that the collars have been like desensitized between the dudes. So the dudes only have a connection to the woman. And I don't like that as much. I feel like the triad really needs to be connected. Mm-hmm, anyway. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So they take her to the place. They take her to the bedroom, basically. And, she notices one of the Atlan warriors. And she's like, because she just got a little turned on. And he says something to the effect of, close your eyes, mate.
Rein it in, bitch.
I will have to remind you who that wet pussy belongs to now.
Oof. Like, and then she closes her eyes. I'm like, keep those eyes open. Like,
right?
Like,
your whole job is to find out the schematics of this ship. Keep your eyes open.
While we're a little bit off topic, I just want to say that the Demonica series by Larissa Ione is a great Incubus series if you're into that.
Ooh.
I don't remember if they're all Incubies. I don't remember. They're all demons. Everybody's demons. Anyway,
Everybody's demony. All right. So she's like, all right, we're going to this bedroom, but I don't think I'm going to fuck them, though. And then they're like, we must claim you now, mate.
Beep, boop, bop. We're aliens. We'll claim. Sex aliens.
Must claim. Otherwise, other dudes can get up on ya. Actually, this is a hallmark of the Interstellar Bride series. They arrive, they meet their mate, and they must immediately fuck, and it has to be recorded and witnessed in some way. Because we find out that the dream she had earlier is actually she was watching someone else's mating ceremony. And, like, they find out that, like, that's what you're into by showing you all of these images of different kinds of sexy times. And the one that you react to the most, they're like, oh, Prillin Prime. She likes the DP. We're good to go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
they take her back.
Yeah. Grig has Rav lay her on the bed, but with their head, like, hanging off the bed so that she can look at Grig, who's sitting in a chair, totally naked. Like, they just walk into this room and they start taking off their alien clothes, and she's like, hey, what's up? Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna play some board games? Or, like, what?
Right, Scrabble, maybe?
Nope. So, Grig's sitting in his chair. He's got his...
Well, and Grig can't, he doesn't trust himself, and she knows because of the color. He doesn't trust himself to touch her yet because he just wants her so badly. Mm-hmm. So, he is incredibly... demanding, and he's sort of a dom, and so he's like, Rav, here is exactly, oh god, he's like, that's right, Rav, we will fuck her, we will claim her, we will make her ours.
I've got it. I'm not happy to read it out loud because I feel strange. Here are the things he says to Rav. Well, first Rav's just going down on her, and by the way, they also, in addition to their super large penises, have super large tongues that are like
super long, almost cat-like rough tongues.
All right. So Grig's yelling out commands at Rav, and he's, oh god, Melody, I don't know why I'm so embarrassed of this book. Maybe because it's just the dirtiest.
I am not embarrassed by this.
Oh, I am. Okay. He says, fuck her, Rav.
Wait, no, we're not there yet.
No,
we're not there yet.
Come on. I started already. I got up the nerve.
All right. Fair enough. Go ahead.
Fuck her, Rav. Fill that pussy with your hard cock. Rav's shock was like a jolt of electricity through our link. What? He asked. You heard me, Grig said. And my note was, just cousin stuff. Just normal cousin stuff. And then he continues, fuck her, Rav. You are mine, she is mine. Your cock is mine, your seed is mine.
Your seed is mine.
If she carries our child, it will be a child of the warrior clan Zakar. Fuck her, fill her, now. And then I again said, just cousins being cousins.
Meanwhile, I had gotten over the cousins.
Mine. Your cock is mine, your seed is mine.
So that's the thing, right? Grig's
Stop making this normal. Stop being like, yes, absolutely, Erin. That is the tradition of the planet Prillin Prime.
Listen, I just decided to go all in. All right? I made the choice, and that's what I did. So
I'm all in, but I still being all in doesn't mean that you still can, because I can't sometimes.
You can't? All right, fair. All right. So, but this is a huge thing, and they talk about it later, but like that's not supposed to happen until the claiming, or until she's pregnant. Rav is not supposed to be all up in the baby maker, right?
Right. We just read that passage. He's the butt alien.
Yes. So he is sitting there being like, wow, this is a huge honor. I'm also really horny and I can't wait to get up in her baby maker. But also, like, it feels a little weird that Grig is like, I'm his too, but I'm also fine with it because Amanda thinks it's super hot. So, like, they process all of this, and it's it's really interesting because Amanda can feel all the shock and everything, but she doesn't understand why. What, Erin?
I'm so sorry, but I just realized that the other two aliens in Earth Girls Are Easy, besides Jeff Goldblum, are Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey.
Oh my God.
Continue on with your life, movie. But I love that out of that trio, I only remember Jeff Goldblum.
Oh boy.
Because he's easily the hottest of all the three of them, in my humble opinion, in 1988. Okay, sorry, moving on. I had Wikipedia'd it, and I finally just looked at it, and then I saw that, so I apologize. Okay.
Okay, so then he's all up in her missionary style, and then then Greg is like, stop, Rav. And Amanda once again is like, what the fuck? Like, why are you always this bossy? And then he has him flip over so that she's cowgirling him, and then he spanks her a few times because she lied earlier. Yeah. He was like, do you like it when I watch? And she's like, what? No, of course I don't.
No, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. And he's like, you lied to us. You do like it when I watch. You do like it when I tell you guys exactly how to fuck. And so he spanks her a few times while Rav is still inside her. And then finally he's like, squeeze him. Use your pussy muscles to squeeze. Just milk him of his seed. And then we find out about the magic cum, you guys.
They just met, like, literally 10 minutes
15 minutes ago. Yeah. Like, a quarter of an hour ago. They were like, hi, my name is... Okay.
I just would want to be like, what do you got? You guys like video games? You play books? What or, play books? Do you read books? Do you know, what are your parents like? What,
No.
Squeeze
No,
him.
I want to know what your pussy tastes like. So she squeezes and she squeezes. And we find out that every single time they come, she comes multiple times because of whatever magic chemicals are in their cum. It is fucking amazing. And it fixes so many of our Earth sex problems, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it also calms her down. It's a sedation situation.
Well,
kind of.
Yeah. Well, the pre-cum is. The pre-cum is like, yeah, I'm into this. Mm-hmm. I don't have any reservations anymore. Yeah. Because
gets you a little drunk.
Yeah, exactly. And they talk about that later too. So, all right. So then, as Rav is done, she's coming and coming for like no reason other than the cum. Mm-hmm. And then Greg picks her up by her hips, puts her down, and then immediately just skewers her from behind. And then she comes even more because Greg comes.
It's a lot, guys.
It is so much.
Yeah.
It is so much. And then they snuggle. And that's really nice. They snuggle and fall asleep. And then the next scene is Greg thinking about his weird feelings about Rav. And he's just like, I don't understand why I'm so territorial over Rav. I don't know if I like it. I've never felt like that about him before. And then he goes back to his job because he can't think about it anymore.
Right.
Then he gets a call from his asshole father, and his father's like berating him over almost dying instead of being Concernicus.
His father wants to his father wants to surge this thing. Father wants to go wipe out the whole hive by doing a lot of warriors at the situation, but that would mean
a lot of suicide missions.
Everybody would die. According to, what's his face? Greg.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. But the rage and anguish and all of that is so intense that it actually wakes up Rav and Amanda. And so Rav's like, Greg's upset. You go back to sleep. I'll deal with it. So then they have their little bonding sesh where they talk about his dad. And then they process the feelings that Greg had when they were fucking... They were all fucking together, and it's actually really sweet because...
It is. It's sweet. Okay. It's sweet.
I'm sorry. It is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
All of my notes are like, I lurves him, but no homo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Rav's like, it's fine. I don't want to fuck you, but if you being a domineering asshole in bed gets our mate off that well, then, like, I'm yours to command. And also, like, your feelings for me are normal. It's called being a family. Mm-hmm. And we're a family. P.S. We've always been a family because we're first cousins. You just didn't know what family was.
I was like, Grace, stop reminding us. Also, they talk about how they definitely know that Amanda is a spy.
Yes. That's it. Okay, here is my other thing. I'm like, obviously, Rav knew this before she arrived.
Yes.
He didn't think to alert Grig that, like, we're welcoming a spy onto our ship and into our bed. Like, he was so horny.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I don't care if she's a spy. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Let the coalition burn.
Mm-hmm.
And Warden Nagara, same thing, because he contacted Warden Nagara. She was like, I did have some weird feelings about those 2 CIA-looking spooks who came in. And so they just pulled up the video footage of the room and heard the orders that he gave her again.
Right.
Like, terrible spyness.
Really bad spy stuff.
So they're like, she's ours now. We don't give a shit. We'll just make sure she knows that, like, we are where her allegiance lies now, not with those fucks back on Earth. And then it cuts to a scene where she is being taken around by Lady Mintar, who is, she's like one of the high-ranking ladies on the ship and a really, really nice lady. And she has a son and they watch him in the little preschool and it's super cutesies. She meets a whole bunch of people. She learns about their food system. It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. She can order Earth meals if she wants.
Yeah, they're going to get her some Earth meals for her. And then Lady Mintar drops her back off. Oh, I'm sorry. They pick up the ATB. It's a little box that all new mates get.
Okay, wait.
It's called the anal training box.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So they take her back.
How did I not highlight the anal training box part?
Oh, don't worry. I did.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. She goes, what's this? What's an ATB? I took the box about the size of a small shoebox and tucked it under my arm. Oh, ATB stands for anal training box. That's not the official name. That's just what we ladies like to call it.
Holy balls. Like,
their whole society is built on double penetration,
the whole
Erin. I don't know why.
Society.
This is a shock to you.
Also,
they're gonna talk about butt stuff openly.
While we've
Everybody
been sitting
knows.
here, and I'm sorry, I just still have this Wikipedia up for Earth Girls Are Easy. And did you know? I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Did you know that it was later a stage show starring Kristen Chenoweth? Right?
What? All of my minds are blown.
I didn't know that. I definitely remember like sexy Jeff Goldblum stepping out of the thing all shaved of his blue hair, but I didn't remember that part.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
All right. So she drops her back off and she starts going through the anal training box. She starts picking up all these little technologies and she's like, I don't know what any of these are for, but maybe I should send them back to Earth. I'll figure out a way to send them back to Earth. So as Grig walks in, she hears him and she starts hiding this toy in the cushions. And he's like, what are you doing, mate? And she's like, nothing at all.
She was thinking about how she could send the toy to Earth.
Yeah.
For Earth.
Because it's technology.
Research.
Bitch is so full of magical cum. Like, she can't think
she's not
straight.
Thinking straight. It's hard.
No.
Listen, if you or I were full of magical cum at our work jobs, it would be hard to do work job stuff. So I get it. I get that all she's thinking about is sending sex toys back to Earth to prep everyone's anuses to be Krillin brides.
Completely. But actually, what it is, it's a nipple clamp toy.
Right.
So he walks over and he's like, I know you're lying, mate, but don't worry. I'll fuck it out of you. And they do some fucking. And she,
Point of order.
Yep,
this is Terrible Spies with Erin.
Oh, yeah.
So she's like, he's like, oh, how did you get picked to be the first lady interstellar bride of Earth? And she's like, oh, I'm not very interesting. I don't know. I just got picked, which good research, good cover story. Like, maybe think about this a little bit. And he's like, on the contrary, I think being an operative with a government agency and assigned to infiltrate and spy on an alien battleship is incredibly interesting. She froze, her dark eyes hidden as she blinked slowly, shock and relief bombarding me through the collar in equal measure. What? You heard me, mate. She shook her head. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I rolled my shoulders. I see you desire another spanking. No! Her denial was sharp and immediate. And then she spills the beans.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I have a note. Okay, this is where this is right before you started. He was like, I was curious about you and like, why were you a bride chosen? And then she goes, oh, it makes me so mad. She nibbled at her bottom lip and clenched the sheet tightly to her breasts, the knuckles turning white. I'm not that interesting. And I was like, worst spy ever. Why can't she show no outward inclinations, but he can feel them through the collar? Like, that would make more sense to me because she's a 5-year trained spy. And then my last note is, I'm so competency flaccid.
Yeah. The fact that she spills all the beans on a threat of a spanking that she super enjoyed earlier today. Like, she's like, no, oh no, don't spank me. I'm a CIA spy. What government secrets would you like? And I'm just like, you love it. You're like, it's like your favorite thing from earlier. Well, what?
You basically almost came also, while he was spanking you.
Let's say it was like a real bad spanking that hurt real bad. You're a spy.
I know. Also, I forgot to say this during the exam scene. She says, oh my God, is there going to be needles? Like, beat me, waterboard me, do anything, but not the needles. No. And I was like, what? Why are you giving away?
My note there just said, Pentagon ? Like, I don't.
I know. You're giving away, like, don't tell them you're afraid of snakes if you're afraid of snakes. You know? They know what to do with that.
Like, people do better with this when they fill out their applications to be on The Bachelor. They're like, you know what? I probably shouldn't say that I'm scared of heights, or they're going to put me on the date where I have to zip line down, like, the Kuala Lumpur, like, highest bank or whatever. Mm-hmm. People do better at that. They're like, you know, I'm afraid of spiders. You know, and they're not going to do a spider date.
Right.
Pentagon.
All right. So she tells him everything. And he's like, mate, I'll show you whatever you want. Like, we'll take you on a little field trip tomorrow. You get to come to the command deck and you get to watch a mission. So that's what they do. They go to the command deck. They watch a mission. A dude dies. And then the whole mission was to try to get back a couple of dudes that had been lost. So the transport comes back. It's a whole thing. And then Greg is like, all right, we're going to the medical bay because you need to see what the Hive is really like. So they go to the medical bay. Rav is like, our mate should not be in here. We should shield her from this. Get her the fuck out. Like, I'm not going to allow this. And they're both like, nope, she has to see. So this is when Rav is actually a doctor because he has to take out.
No.
He has to cut him. And
there's literally no medical knowledge involved in this.
Yeah. So he cuts him open, and then he's like, oh, look at that silver orb attached to his spine.
Yeah.
I guess I should yoink that out.
He just grabs it and pulls hard. That's what the passage is. This is not medical doctor. Like, what do they teach them in doctor school? Wand?
I'm telling you, it comes up in book, I think, 2.
Okay,
anyway.
all right, okay. I'm not going to read book 2, but...
I know.
I'm happy to hear about it in a Patreon episode.
In our bonus episode? Yeah, get ready. Okay, so it's horrifying, and they're like, now we just wait and see. He's either going to be okay, or he's going to self-destruct. And she's like, I don't even know what that means. So then they watch, and he wakes up, and he's like, Mara? Because this is Lady Mintar's second. This is her one friend on the ship's husband. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, she's already been really concerned. And then he looks into her eyes and he's like, Mara. And she's like, she's coming. And then all of a sudden he starts dissolving and imploding into his self-made acid bath inside of him.
Because like the silvery orb that's attached to your spine, it creates more orbs throughout your body as time goes on. It's a biosynthetic. I think I got that right. So it goes all throughout your body. And so the longer you've been a Hive member, the worse it's going to be. Sometimes they can just yoink that out and you wake up and you're good. But sometimes they yoink it out and all the other parts that are in your body self-destruct and they poison you dead.
So he starts bubbling and dissolving into his own acidness. And that's when Greg gets called back to the command deck. And he's like, well, bye. I'm leaving you and your feelings here. It's actually kind of sweet and sad. But then she and Rav snuggle and they console each other. And he tells her that they were lost before she got there and how much he loves her and all the things. He tells her that when the coalition members showed up to Earth, that they showed the guys corpses, they showed them battles, they showed them Hive operations, they showed them all this shit. And then her superiors just fucking lied to her because all they wanted her to get was weapons and technology. So she's like, like nipple clamps.
Nipple clamps and some deep digging. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. Because of 2 days before they could send soldiers.
Yep. So she's like, well, fuck this and fuck all of that. When are the soldiers showing up? Because there's going to be spies with them too. Mm-hmm. All of the government secrets that she's leaked out. And he's like, they get here in 2 days or like tomorrow or something like
now ish.
I think it's the next day. So it cuts. I'm sure they have some good sex that night, right? But it cuts away from that. Yeah. We don't see any of it. But there's no way these 2 guys go a night without it now that they have a new mate.
Yeah.
So they create this whole plan. She tattles on Earth leaders to all of the...
Whoa.
Oh, what?
Don't we have a phone call with Dad for a little bit? I need to talk about it.
Yeah, that was after that, though. Okay. So first, they actually see Lady Mintar. Everybody wants to meet new Lady Zakar, and they're like in the cafeteria together and blah. And the guys are all proud because everybody has such respect for her. Then they see Lady Mintar, and she goes and consoles her, and it's all very sweet. And then she has to go sell her to government to the entire alien coalition.
Yeah.
So she has a conference call with all the dudes, and she's like, hey guys, Earth is not playing in good faith, and I was a spy, and they're sending more spies, and like, they don't believe you, or at least they're pretending not to believe you. And so the aliens are going to go down to Earth and sort them out in a matter of days. Then we have a conference call with the dad.
Yeah.
And he calls and he's like, why did you keep it a secret that you're mated? And he's like, I didn't. It just didn't seem like something you would be interested in. And he goes, well, she seems fine. I don't care as long as she breeds.
All right. Listen, there's a few things I need to talk about here.
Yes.
In Grig's narrative, when he's talking to his dad on the phone, he says, the war went on and fucking on. I'd been fighting since I was a boy. My father dragging me to the command deck when I was a mere child, teaching me strategy, teaching me how to deliver the killing blow, how to kill without mercy. 20 years I'd been fighting, and every death took a toll on my soul. I was battered, worn down. Maybe Dad's strategy is the way to go.
Bah! Because, P.S., this war has been going on for 1,000 years.
Yeah, Grig's strategy of like, ooh, maybe like we don't want to have mass casualties, so like let's just continue to be kind of on the defensive and like maybe make a little smaller strikes. Like, and Dad's strategy is like just throw it all at them because they're gonna kill us anyway eventually. I think is better.
I mean, I am not here to comment on the war strategy,
and that is what I feel about that.
Fair.
Surges work sometimes. Okay, so then Grig, all right. So then he asks about the soldiers coming in, and Grig says, they're going through processing now. We'll take them to medical, and they'll be all yours. How long will it take? That's where I got 20 minutes, because they took 20 minutes to go through medical. But then he says, we aren't giving them the full exam, just making sure they're healthy enough to survive their return trip. So, no anal for these soldiers. They're not going to have to go through the arousal meter where they like clamp something on these poor soldiers and they're like 20% to orgasm, 30%.
Do you think
Can you imagine?
I bet they have a medical ball tickler, Erin.
Oh, I'm sure
I bet they do.
How you're saying I bet they do and you've read 4 of these is beyond me, because the fact that there hasn't been one yet is crazy.
Well, because I haven't encountered a male Interstellar bride situation or anything else, so I don't know. I only know about the lady exams.
Okay, so then when he tells him about his mate and Dad is mad. Okay.
This is so weird. He's like, I'll transport for the ceremony immediately.
Yeah, he says,
and
I'll
everybody's
be
like,
there for the ceremony. And Grig's narrative says, yeah, no. There was no way my father-in-law was going to watch the...
No, that's Amanda's.
That's her?
That's Amanda's. This is Amanda's point of view. Yeah, that's why it's father-in-law,
Okay,
not
sorry.
father.
Amanda. Yeah, no, there's no way my father-in-law is going to watch the claiming ceremony. Gross and altogether creepy. His protest fell on deaf ears as Grig's rage boiled over. Gently, too gently, he stepped forward and used his arm to move me behind his back, out of his father's sight. No. What did you say to me? Greg's entire body tensed with rage, and I stayed where he wanted me, content to lean against him, to press my forehead to the center of his back so he'd know I was there, that I was with him.
She's comforting him.
Yeah, it's fine. I said, no, father. No more. I heard a rustling and felt Rav's approach as he walked to Grig's side. They're all sex partners standing there in front of the dad. As he walked to Grig's side, standing with Grig as he refused his father. What are you talking about, no more? What the fuck kind of game are you playing with me, boy? And I noted, I'm reading an argument about whether a dad can watch his son fuck another alien and his cousin in front of a full audience. Like, how is this, of all the things, how is this the thing that Grig's like, no, I will not let you watch me have sex with my new wife and my first cousin husband. Even though there's 100 other people gonna be in that room, all my best friends and family. How dare you, father? Because throughout this whole thing, like, the dad's doing real shitty stuff to him, like, won't call him his son, won't say he loves him, like, sends him into crazy suicide battles. Like, maybe one of those things could have been the thing, but no, it was this. No more, father. All right, I'm done talking about that now. Okay.
Okay. So then the soldiers arrive.
Yep.
She explains to them that they are not going to be able to be spies and they're going straight home. And then she pulls up on the intercom the two spooky suits and the Secretary of Defense. And they're all very confused about why they're talking to a mere woman. And she's like, cut the shit, Robert and Alan. You saw the corpses. You saw the hiveness. You saw. And the Secretary of Defense is like,
the fuck are you talking about?
And then Alan's like, what the fuck are you doing?
He slams his hand on the table. What are you doing?
Yes. And she's like, saving you from yourself. And then she's like, P.S. the aliens are coming to get you.
Yeah.
So
I
get your shit together.
I'm Lady Zakar of the
That's right.
Zakar shit.
I am a proud warrior bride of Krillin Prime.
And double penetration has elevated me to this level.
And in fact, I need to cut off this phone call so that I can go get DP'd and make this shit official.
In front of an audience. That does not include one of my new husband's dads, but does include his first cousin as a participant.
So they close it all off. And then the next line I find hilarious because it's from Rav's perspective. And he's like, my cock had been hard for hours. Grig refused to do the ceremony while there were liars and spies among us. So Grig was like, we're not DPing anybody until we get these goddamn spies
Rav's
off
like,
of our ship.
I really want to DP right now. Why won't you let me?
I want to get in that tight pink ass.
Virgin ass.
So, Erin, this is where I was like, I'm really concerned about your booty because I just don't. So she's been here for not even 3 days, right? That's my clock on it at this point. She's been here for not even 3 days.
Exactly.
I have seen them
we know.
use 2 butt plugs, and I just don't believe that they're going to be able to get 2 at least 9-inch cocks into her with no pain.
Okay, like, we know that she's only been here 2 days because it was 2 days before the soldiers got there.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, I just don't believe, like, I think you're emotionally ready, sure, but I am concerned about your booty hole. And I think that is a perfectly reasonable response. Because in the other books, they take at least a week. And I'm even dubious about a week. I don't know about strenuous anal training, but I would think that it would take more. Like, they gave him 30 days. The window is 30 days before the claiming ceremony.
They gotta get it done. They gotta get it done.
They gotta work on this shit for 30 days. And now 2 days in, she's like, no, I am stretched and ready for everybody. I've been limbering up.
Oh my God. Okay.
I just don't. Anyway. So then the ceremony happens and they offer her a blindfold. And she's like, yes, I would like that blindfold because I don't want to look at the, I don't know, tens to 100 or more warriors that are just looking on in fascination while my mates and I get it done. And then, honestly, I was a little
underwhelmed,
disappointed.
Well, because we already had the good version of this right at the top of the thing.
The front.
So, yeah, I think that was the problem with this scene. But may I read you a line of how it begins? This is Grig talking. Open your mouth. I'm going to put my cock on your lip, and you're going to lick off all of my pre-cum. It's going to heat your tongue and whet your appetite for our cocks. Do you understand? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I get it.
Oh, man. And that's
so
the end. They all have orgasms in front of the big audience of all their friends and family. And
the gods witness and protect them.
Yeah, and her collar
and she
turns
accepts their claim,
colors.
Warriors.
Her collar
her
turns
color matches theirs now.
And she says, I love you, Robin Grigg. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then it's the end.
Yeah, and happily fucking ever after.
Yes.
I loved this whole thing. I loved it. I enjoyed it so much.
That you read the whole series.
I didn't know. Erin, I was on a one-click rampage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, maybe I should just check to see how close I am to the end. And I had to stop. I had to talk myself out of it when I learned that there are 14 books in this series.
Oh, no.
14.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, there is a universe of delight out there, you guys. You could go down a Grace Goodwin rabbit hole that just gives you all of your deepest, darkest fantasies if you'd like. Who knows? But it was so... I enjoyed all of them, problems and all. Like, you know how one of my favorite Sarah McLean sayings is, Sarah, your faves are problematic?
Yeah.
Melody, your faves are problematic.
It's not so much problematic as just off the chain bananas bonkers. Like,
yes, so good. So good.
Do you see the face?
Oh yeah, everything on Erin's face is wide.
I'm gonna take a screenshot. There we go.
Yes.
Oh no! All I did was turn it off. Oh, damn it! I don't even know how to take a screenshot. I'm the worst.
I enjoyed this so much.
I
can't even talk about it. Yeah, I got one too. Okay. All right, Erin, do you have a lady love that's not read all 14 of these books?
Is that yours?
I don't know. It might be.
Yes. I previewed it on Twitter. It's watch season 2 of Queer Eye and just bawl your fucking eyes out.
I've heard.
Could not. The first 2 to 3 maybe episodes, I just could not hold my shit together. The first episode, they do a woman who is just the most loving, amazing, big, open-hearted lady who's like a church person. I didn't mean she was a big lady. I meant her heart was big. Well, she is a big lady, but that's not what I meant. But anyway, the point is, oh my gosh, just tears of so much love all the time. They just have so much love to give, Melody.
They do.
There's an episode where Anthony wears guy liner that was illuminating for me.
Ooh. I love that.
Yeah, it's just a great show.
Oh, I love it. Actually, if my lady love is not going to be read all 14 of these books, I'm actually going to do a couple of shows too, because maybe I'm only going to do one show because I can't remember what the other one I was going to talk about is. But I finally decided that I was going to watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it was one of those shows where I was like, I know I'm going to love this, so I don't want to start it because then I'll finish it and then it'll be done. It's a weird thing my brain does. Anyway, I finally watched it and it is so good.
Yeah, I've heard it's so good.
Oh, please watch it. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's an Amazon Prime show. Yeah.
I have another one. Oh, are we going to do a bonus, though? Maybe I should save it. Are we going to do a bonus today? We're not doing a bonus today, are we?
I don't think we can do a bonus today.
Okay, sorry. Continue, and then I'll tell you my other one.
Okay. No. That's it.
Okay.
I think that's going to be it this week for me.
If you guys remember, on one episode very early, I think it may have been like Shades of Vampires, I recommended the last 10 minutes of a Game of Thrones podcast called Binge Mode, where they talk about friendship and fantasy and how important it is to our world. Remember that? Okay, so they're doing a new Binge Mode series where they read Harry Potter, which there's no shortage of people reading Harry Potter from beginning to end and doing podcasts about it. However, these two people have a certain magic in their friendship and chemistry and their like unabashed love of the genre. They're doing 5 chapters at once. Like each episode is 5 chapters. And the way that they structure these shows, and did in their Game of Thrones one too, is that they do a quick recap at the beginning, then they do a deep dive and do a slow recap. Then they do a deep dive into a concept from the thing. Like it could be, the first one they did a deep dive into Gringotts Bank and the history of it and that kind of thing. The second one was, I think, the Sorting Hat, that kind of thing. I don't remember what the third one was. So it's a lot of that. And then they do their 7 most favorite parts of that 5 books. And then at the end, they crown whoever was the character that did the best in that. So,
in that
it's more than just like a recap. It's also like a lot of lore and and they're just like such cool, good friends. And they're just so excited about Harry Potter. And I've been really enjoying it. And I know a lot of you like Harry Potter. So Binge Mode, Harry Potter.
Cool. I'm into it. All right, so you can find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms. Facebook is Heaving Bosoms Podcast. We have a group called the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult, and we are not getting anyone's possessions so far. Bullshit. We have on Twitter, heaving_bosoms. You can send us your Patreon address to our email.
And anything else you want to send us.
And anything else, but I just wanted to get that in there again. That is heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. And our website is www.heavingbosomspodcast.com. We love you and we want you to follow us because we chat about shit.
And if you're new to the podcast because you came on board because of the Sarah McLean interview, which I think is a lot of you.
Oh, yeah.
We do have a bribe, which is if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes and mention a book, we'll do the book. It might not be for like a year because we've got a big backlog, but we will do the book eventually. And you don't have to give us, if you want to give us a 3-star iTunes review, that's fine. We just won't do your book.
We just won't necessarily. Yeah.
So, it's not an unfair bribe, but it is a bribe. Take the bribe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We love everyone who reviews. Thank you so much for doing that. I would love to see more reviews roll in, or at least ratings. If you want to just rate, that's fine too. But we love reading reviews.
It's helping people find us, which is good.
Yeah. We want to grow the HB community and have you guys connect because it's really fun. Mm-hmm. All right, so keep being a badass.
The choices here are just so.
The choices are
many.
I don't even know. Like, I'm overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed with the number of funny things we could say right now.
And love yourself as much as you love probable medical ball ticklers.
Yes.
And love yourself
as much as you love inevitable medical ball ticklers.
And love yourself as much as you love magical pre-cum.
I like that one too.
I do like that one.
Uh-huh.
And love yourself as much as you Man, there was
poop robots that eat your poop and teleport it to the ship at your work job.
Magical poop robots. Love yourself as much as you love the worst spies ever.
Yeah, spies that will crack at threat of spanking.
Yeah, spies that will crack over the threat of spankings they enjoy.
Oh, man. First cousins who have sex, no homo, but their balls do touch a lot and they're into it.
You know what? Frankly, love yourself as much as you love having your dad come to the ceremony being the last straw.
Years of abuse. But no, Dad, you will not watch this
more.
with the rest of my society. All right, one of those has to be usable, right?
I think I'm going to leave them all. I think they're finally going to see behind the curtain how these things happen.
Ooh, guys, behind our very elusive, perfect curtain of our perfect veneer. You'll get to see. All right.
All right. I love you so much, Erin.
I love you. Goodbye, Mel.
I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.